Mickey Chervenak was just 10 years old on September 6, 1957, when he murdered his father, making him the youngest person ever to be charged with murder in Allegheny County, Pennsylvania. It started at about 9 p.m. on September 6, when Mr. Chervenak and Mickey had come home from going fishing all day. Mr. Chervenak had dropped off the son and then gone and gotten a pack of beers and come back. He was about 3 in when he got mad at his wife because he had requested eggs, but then he got mad at her for making eggs. So then when he asked for corn and she made him corn, he got mad at her again, threw the eggs at her, began yelling at her and telling her he hated her. He slapped her across the face, choked her, and then turned his rage on his son, Mickey, where he hit his son so hard across the face that Mickey's head hit the wall. This wasn't the first time, and neighbors reported that it was common to hear Mr. Chervenak yelling at his family. Mom Shirley even said he'd take her down into the basement to do it so no one could hear. On that day, though, Mickey had just had enough. He went upstairs and he got the 12-gauge shotgun that his father kept under his parents' bed. He had just been taught how to use it maybe a couple weeks earlier. He carefully loaded it and brought it down the stairs, sitting it on top of the banister. He aimed it into the doorway in the living room, and as soon as Mr. Chervenak walked through the door, Mickey pulled the trigger. Mr. Chervenak was killed almost instantly, and a 2.5-inch hole was in his chest. When he was interviewed by the police, he said the same thing over and over again. I just couldn't take it any longer. I could mind father beating me, but I just couldn't stand him beating my mommy. He beat Janet too. About a week later, there was an inquest for a grand jury. The star evidence of that inquest were color photos of bruises and marks on both Shirley and Mickey Chervenak's bodies from the night of the murder. Everyone was in agreement. This was justifiable homicide, if ever there was justifiable homicide. Mickey was thoroughly perplexed because he had just said on the stand and told a whole group of adults that he had killed somebody. The Post-Gazette actually reported that while he was walking away with his mother, he asked her, "What's justifiable homicide mean?" And Mom said, "It means you can come back home." The only people who weren't happy about this were Mr. Chervenak's sisters, who began screaming, you lied," in the courtroom. Mickey very calmly told them, "I did not." The Chervenak sisters said that if Shirley Chervenak had been a better wife, their brother wouldn't have been killed. They also started the theory that it was actually Shirley who pulled the trigger and not Mickey. The families never reconciled, and Shirley took her kids back to New York because she didn't want to be in Pittsburgh anymore. And for 60 years, Michael Bosnack tried very hard to forget what he had done to protect his family. He was 70 years old when he passed on February 19th, 2018 with his family. His wife said that memories of the abuse plagued him their entire marriage, but that he tried to be a good person.